Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am just adjusting a couple of things. We needed a second camera, so it took me just a quick second. Tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're tuning in. I'm in Kansas City, and today's live, we are going to be discussing Premium Plus. I am going to go over some details about Premium Plus, different types of like channels or industries that you can use it in, and then we will weed and we will apply. And I'm going to show you actually a couple of different ways that you can order Premium Plus and just have a fun little project for today. Now, I am double computering it. And I need this one to cut on my GS24. Now, I've already cut Premium Plus, but I am going to add one more material into our mix just to kind of show you a different way to utilize Premium Plus. And of course, if you have any questions, pop them down below. Carly's going to be on the other side, kind of following along with us. She'll help answer questions, and then, of course, post any links. So while I am just kind of going over what we're doing, let me finish cutting our other material wrong computer. And that's going to take a minute as it had died. Yay! It's like a Monday on a Thursday. Okay, so let's go over Premium Plus really quick. Who's currently using Premium Plus? It would be Cad-Cut Premium Plus. It is a Stalls product. So just pop in the comments. Let me see how many people are already using. Okay. Yeah, Carly, I don't know how. It's showing me that it is. It says, oh, you know what? It is connected to the Facebook group. Not all states, all things. Let's do this. Carly accidentally hit He Press for Profit group. So, Mary, what is it? It is a stretchable heat transfer vinyl. That's the easiest way I like to say it. Okay, let me quickly just add this to our main page and then we'll get going. So Premium Plus is really thin. It's a great everyday standard t-shirt material, but it's also excellent for performance gear. So with the way athleisure has, really made a full push in the garment industry the last couple of years, especially when everybody was going home, athleisure really took it by the storm, or took our world by storm. And with the way Premium Plus stretches and then snaps back, so it has a stretch and a rebound to it, it's excellent for those lightweight garments that we're seeing. It could be 100% poly. It could be 100%, not spandex, but like a poly spandex. But then also it's excellent to go on just a standard Gildan t-shirt. So if you aren't one, that is really doing anything in a particular channel or industry, then Premium Plus is something that you can have in your arsenal that is going to feel good on just about everything. It's not a specialty material. It can layer on top of itself. So there's really, besides not printing on nylon, there's really nothing that this material can't do. Skip said, love Premium Plus. See, there you go. Have some, but haven't used it yet. Is this the one with the high and low tack? Yes, Craig, that is correct. So one of the biggest questions I get asked all the time about this material is, what's the biggest difference between high tack and low tack? It is the exact same material, just a different carrier. So if you are looking for something with a little bit more detail, then that's when you would want to use the high tack. And think of it this way. If something is got a whole bunch of little tiny dots or eyes, I feel like there's a whole bunch of other parts on a letter, but for only some reason I'm thinking of an eye. If you were to accidentally pop that eye off, if it's a tacky carrier on any type of heat transfer vinyl, you can just like take that eye and pop it right back down. The biggest thing is just making sure that you have the correct adhesive side up. That way it can still adhere to the garment. But low tack is just a less tacky carrier. So names, numbers is excellent in low tack. And I find that I can still get some pretty good detail in the low tack. And then there's just some people that prefer using high tack because they just kind of know it's going to always save those potential things that are just going to pop off. Gustavo loves Premium Plus. There's a lot of people that love Premium Plus, and that makes my heart happy because it is one of the softest materials on a garment. I absolutely love it, and I like materials that are body forgiving. So if you were to put this on a smaller item, it is just going to stretch and grow with that person or wherever it's going. So wrestling singlets, I think, are a lot of times in nylon, but they start out like this small and then they grow to the body, right? So that's just the easiest way to kind of think about it. Okay, Craig, you said you found it hard to weed and used Sport Flex. Sport Film, because Sport Flex is not stalls, that's fine. This is an open conversation. I just wanted to clarify that way I knew exactly what was going on. Is there a trick to weeding that material? Because sometimes it's hard to weed because it is so stretchy. And Kristen, let me tell you, I would say that's a pain point of the material. It can't be perfect, right? Nothing can be 100% perfect. That would make life too easy. So I will show you a couple of ways. I do have the heat press up, and to show you, let me pull up. Like I said, guys, I'm working on 2 computers right now and then a camera for the press. And I got a new camera, so we should have less issues with stream or a new computer. So we should have less issues with streaming, any type of lag. So yay, everybody clap. But I just realized that I never got my GS24 fully connected on my computer, and I had to pull up my other one. So I'm excellent at pivoting. So you'll just have to bear with me just a second. It is cut. I do have the Premium Plus cut because we're going to go over a couple of things. It's right here. And as you can see, I've got my test cut, but I have not weeded our entire design because I wanted you guys to see how it stretches. I kind of compare it to like a latex balloon. So if you take the balloon, right, and you stretch it before you blow it up, then it's going to kind of stretch and then snap back. And that's the easiest way to describe what Premium Plus does. Craig, yeah, what she said on stretchy weeding, I'm right there. I totally get it. So for particular like certain designs, there's other materials that I might prefer. But this is still one of my favorite materials to use because I know the outcome on what it's going to feel and look like on the garment is superb. So sometimes it's like you kind of just have to work through the pain points to get to the gold, right? Okay, so Craig said the stalls one, so Sport Film Light. which is an incredible material, and it goes on nylon. It just doesn't have that same stretch and rebound as Premium Plus does. It's more of a satin finish versus a matte, but it's still a phenomenal product. Definitely a good one, Craig. It's a fave of mine to weed for sure. Okay, so a bunch of squirrels in today's closet. So give me just a couple of seconds. I'm pulling up CADWorks Live. This is a design that I had. We've used it for some education at shows. I don't know if I've ever done anything with it on Facebook or not. Very simple. But what I'm going to do is it's going to be like 9.5 by 7-inch logo. So it's a fairly good size. It definitely has more words than like shapes to it. Let's see. Boom, boom. Terry wins the award. So this is what we are going to show here in just a little bit. So any material that is a warm, hot peel, that is your answer. We're going to warm it up and it's going to help you peel better. I had to bring that more. Paula, give me a second to work through this one. Is the high-tech. So high-tech Premium Plus have more stickiness than, say, brands like Caesar. Okay, so you can't necessarily compare a brand to a specific material because, so like it would be Stahl's comparing to Caesar, and then it would be taking a material in Caesar and comparing it to Premium Plus. So I'm not 100% sure if there is a product similar that Caesar offers, but if they have a material that has a high tack to it, then a high tack is going to be a high tack. I feel like some of them are a little bit gummier than others, if that makes sense. But Glitter Flake's a high tack. Ultra Weed's a high tack. I know there's more, guys. I know there's more. Premium Plus. Metallic has a tacky carrier, but I would say it's more of a maybe medium tack. Oh, Randy. There you go. VIP right there. You can't compare Stahl's to nobody. They are another league. Thanks, man. We appreciate that. White has to peel cold comes from Gustavo. So I think I know there's a couple of colors that kind of have their own peeling preference. I have found that just working with a variety of materials in general. Samantha, I really, really wish that we had a way to kind of be live. So kind of like a webinar, that way you can show me exactly what it is. But if it's a mystery pack to where you really don't know, you can feel on the back and it kind of feels like a rubber balloon. But if it is a pack that you get from Stahl's, where it's going to be a variety of samples, you should be able to take a logo on a piece of paper or whatever marketing they send and match it to the logo that you receive. And that's the easiest way. Oh, yes, Patty, you guys are firing off some superb tips for everybody today. So yes, weeding boxes are so easy to use. This is the fourth attempt I've gone to cut this material. And I know that whenever I use CADWorks Live and then send my art into Vector Cut, there's a little box that I can check that automatically adds a weeding box around it. And I think that makes it super easy, especially it's called Auto Weed. That's the box. But I think it makes it super easy in terms of if you're one that kind of goes through the motions and you're so used to doing it, maybe sometimes you might forget, then it's a nice little easy way. Okay, I am moving this artwork down. Ooh. Tiny, tiny little screen. Let's see. Okay, so let me adjust the width. Can you guys hear it? That's the sound of the GS24. And she's actually, I call a lot of my equipment and materials but the GS24 is actually behind my computer, so you guys might be able to hear that sound. Okay, once that is done, we're going to close this, and then I'm going to show you weeding without taking it to the press, and then we'll do it from that way. Okay, so Samantha, to answer your question, you should be able to see multiple designs that you can match up with. Ooh, you run heavy. So Paula is looking for a material that has a very sticky carrier, so the tiny dots won't be popping off small logos. Premium Plus and high tack is going to be excellent. Ultra weed, I think, is excellent. The amount of detail we can get out of that is pretty crazy. Metallic, you guys know I'm pro metallic, and you can get some really good detail for that if you're wanting a little bit of elevated design. I'd have to go through everything in the arsenal, but those are the ones right off the top of my head. Okay, we're done. I'm going to go cut that off, bring it over here just to make sure that we're good to go. Quick survey. How many pairs of scissors do you have in your office, and how many weeding tools? Because there's supposed to be two pairs of scissors right here, and they're not there. So I am just cutting this, and then, like I said, we will weed together. Okay. Perfect. That one is good. Let me shut this guy down. So Premium Plus, I'm going to do my best to let you guys see like everything possible, okay? So you can't really see the weeding box on that. It is so faint, and I need more light. Okay, right here. Okay. So if you can already see this, I know it's gray. It's not like white. It's not a bright color. But like, look at that stretch just from weeding. Now, I pulled pretty hard. I wasn't cautious of this. I want this to be a true, real experience. I want you guys to see it. No fluff, no editing, right? Everything stayed. So this is still pretty tacky without being like crazy gummy tacky. So I'm trying to weed into my cavities. Now, I do notice that with Premium Plus, I can get breakage a little bit easier, and that's only because we're getting just, I mean, that's the balloon effect that I'm talking about, okay? So it's just crazy stretchy. Now, I want to go to the press and show you just how easy it would be, but I wish I had a little bit stickier of a logo. Okay, we're gonna head to the press just really fast, and you guys can see how this is going to work. So for those of you that are like, how in the world do I make weeding in general easier? And also to make sure, can everybody hear me? I just want to get, I just want to make sure. Let's see. Waiting for the first. Boop. Okay, nope. Paula said thank you. Just, I know there's like a 2-minute delay. Boop, boop. Thanks, Samantha. Okay, so there's a couple of ways that you can do this. You could just simply have your heating element above your material. Just let it get a little bit warm. If you're like me and you need things to move just a little bit quicker in life, then you can just warm up your platen just for a little bit. And that is going to basically create a heating pad for you. Now, the only downfall to this is we're rocking at 289 right now. We don't need to be that hot when we are weeding. We don't want to release the adhesive too much too quick. Otherwise, those dots could pop off. So keep in mind, if it's a hot peel and you have a really tacky carrier, then you want that tack to hold the dots. But if you have a pretty simple design and you're going to have some, easy weeding times or easier weeding times, then just 5 seconds is all you really need to warm up that bottom. Now, this design weeds fairly quick, but just in general, the heat is going to start melting the adhesive on the carrier that is holding the material down. That's what's going to release. And automatically, the material just pulls so much easier. That wasn't a great display for a logo, just because this, is a little bit easier in terms of overall design. But it does help with weeding. And I know that anytime I need to weed Premium Plus, I always come to the press and weed first. Now, there is a weeding panel that you can purchase that is basically a decent size hot pad that if you've got somebody, hold on. If you've got somebody needing to use the heat press and you don't have time to weed, then this is not going to be most beneficial for you. If you are going to weed and then you're going to heat apply, then fine. You can come and you can weed on your platen. I would not warm it up and then take it to a table, because if you take it to a table that is going to hold in any type of coldness or it's a little bit cooler, remember, it's going to zap that heat. So what you just warmed up is now going to get cold again. If you have somebody heat applying for you, so using the press, and then you have somebody weeding, that's when I would get the weeding table, which is a pretty large heated weeding area. Carly, how big is it? I feel like you can put like a 3x3 sheet on there or something, or 2x3 sheet. So fairly large. Okay, so this design is done. It says build strength, weight training. I wanted to show you some pretty thin letters, but then I also wanted to do a fairly, large design. Like I said, it's about 9.58 if I am being precise in width. Now, just like anything, screen print, vinyl, even some, or DTG, white toner printers, anything that is going to be a large shape. So I always talk in terms of like the world or a family picture, squares, anything that doesn't have any type of cavities to it, then just remember, if you put that in a large size on any garment, it is always going to feel thicker and heavier. Premium Plus feels like a super soft velvety bunny. But if this was just a big giant rectangle, just know it's going to feel a little stiff on a shirt. And that's simply because it's taking up a larger amount of surface area. So let's go. All right. So thank you, 20 by 36. So I was pretty close to a 2x3, but definitely not a 3x4. Alrighty. So a couple of things that I wanted to show you. Let's head to the Stalls website. Okay, so this is Premium Plus on stalls.com. And I always like to show where it is on our website because we have so much material. Let's see. There we go. Right. We have a lot of products to offer, which is a huge pro and a small con. But if you go to Premium Plus, you can see it says the softest HTV built for performance. But keep in mind, it is still a great material for just a basic t-shirt. It's a very, very affordable material. And with the feel, how thin it is, and just the ease and use, it's a great option. So we have an array of colors here, and right here we've got some limited edition colors. They are all going to have that really soft hand feel. Now, if you notice when we go to low tack, there are a couple of color differences. So with low tack, there is a lighter or a larger range of limited edition colors and more permanent colors in the high tack. Now, everything is showing up zeros because I am logged in on my account. So when you go to the Stalls website, you'll be able to see that. Here's the weeding table that I was talking to you about. This is the largest size that we have. Okay, details. So thin, soft, durable, silky matte finish, best description. That's exactly what it is. And then here we go, the low tack for larger and high tack for detailed. Now, the biggest thing is, like, if you've never tried this material or you've never tried the low tack, order a yard, get it, test it out, and see which one you prefer to use, right? Because you might absolutely love the high tack or you might absolutely love the low tack, and it just makes more sense in your business. One is not better. One is not higher in cost. They do peel a little differently. One's more of a warm, one's a cold, hot to warm, cold. But overall, which do you need more? Do you want it to be a little bit easier for you in weeding, or do you want that peel factor? Okay, and next you can see the stretch and rebound is a 5, so this is high. The CPSIA, so if you're looking for something that is lightweight for kids, this is excellent. And then, of course, you can go to the user guide. So we're low here at 280 to 300, only for 8 to 12 seconds. And you can see it's the same here. So low tack is warm to cold, high tack is hot. And I'd have to look at my roll. Well, you can't see what we're looking at. I'd have to look at my roll, but we might have cold tack. So I just need to verify before we peel. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Crossing my T's and dotting my I's. So here's the other thing that I love, guys. If you are using the 360 IQ, you can find these settings here. I will also tell you that we have been doing a lot of testing and I love playing with the 360 just to get even better at using that press. You can actually turn off the lower and go to the standard time. So you could roll with 280, stay at the 8 to 12 seconds, and you don't have to worry about that 320. And you can also leave off the foam pad. Okay, then here's another thing for the lower heated platins on the tri-blends. Look, you guys can go down even lower at that 260, and helps with scorching, helps with, in minimal types of bruising. Right here, we've gotten the cotton and poly and lycra. I just really, really wish that this material could go on nylon, but that's okay. There's a couple of other great solutions as well. And then how to cut it. I'll tell you, I've been using a 60-degree blade more and more, and it cut beautifully on Premium Plus. So don't be afraid to try a 60-degree blade and see if you like how that works. But the weeding was great. And I was at a 90, maybe 100 in terms of force for the Roland. Okay, the next thing that I want to show you is really fast. Who here is decorating teamwear? Who's doing sports? The beautiful thing about sports is they are year round. It just depends on, what type of, teams you do. But you can actually order Premium Plus in pre-cuts. So if we go to letters and numbers, if you're doing a ton of sportswear, you do not want to cut and weed, then we can send you numbers ready to apply. And we can also send you numbers that are basically aligned on a carrier. So we've done the cutting and the weeding, and all you have to do is apply. So it eliminates multiple different steps. So I'm just going through our pre-cut numbers and selecting just something very, very generic, but also like extremely popular. So foreground, one color, 8-inch number, a Pro Block, which is a very, very popular font for us. And then I'm scrolling down. You can actually find Premium Plus High Tack right here. So if you're going, why in the world is low tack not offered if it's great for larger jobs, larger prints? It's because we're cutting and weeding these for you. All you have to do is align them on the garment. So you can order numbers cut, you can stock them, and then you can just apply when you're ready. So again, this is going to show 0 versus the pack and the kit size, but you can type in what you need, and it's 10 numbers per pack. Or you can just order a kit and save you some money if that makes sense as well. Okay, so with the pre-cuts, that means if you have a 1 that you need to print or heat apply, then you're just going to take that one individual number, lay it. You're going to make sure that it is centered. You're going to make sure, that it is where it needs to be in the garment. That's your responsibility to do that. If you need the number 21, then you're going to take a 2 and a 1, and you're going to find out where it needs to be on the garment. And a lot of people decorate jerseys and utilize numbers this way. It's the most affordable. And once you get a system going, it can be really beneficial to your business. Now, if you are trying to get familiar with numbers, or you're trying to get more comfortable, you don't really want to cut, or you don't have a cutter, right? Because that can be possible. All you need is a heat press. Then what you're going to do is we're going to back out. And we are going to go to letters and numbers again. The only difference, to figure out where I was, we're going to pre-spaced numbers and then pre-spaced text. Now, the biggest thing is that in pre-spaced numbers or pre-spaced text, you have a couple of different options. You can either choose to do an effect or no effect. We're going to heat print with one that has an effect today, so I'll get to show you that. Let's go no effect. One color, and then you can choose two color. So let's just go one color. Let's go 8-inch again, Pro Block. And then we're going to scroll over to Premium Plus. Stick with black. And then here, all you have to do is type out, every single number that you need. You can also import a list. So right here would be upload new list. You can do a number range, which will auto-populate, and then you can go in and adjust the quantities that you need. And then you can also name this order. So if you do two different, say, jerseys for somebody, you can name, Bulldogs white jersey, Bulldogs red jersey. Now, the beautiful thing is if we change to a two color, it's going to make you choose the foreground and the background. So right here is foreground. And then you have the ability to choose other materials. So background, let's say Carolina blue. And now you have a preview of what it's going to look like. The biggest thing on this, guys, is that this is still going to be a two-step application because you're going to have two colors. If it's just a one color number or numbers, it will be one application. And they are going to come just like this, already cut and weeded on a carrier. So here you go. That's how you order. Super, super easy. Add to cart and you are done. So if we were doing the pre-space, which you can also do what is called player perfect, and that would give you the number and then your player's name above. So one application, one hit for, say, 3 different pieces, the name and then a 2-digit number. If it's a single digit, then it would just be the name, and then you'd have your number shown below. So this one is actually micro perf, and as you can see, there are tiny little dots in that. So you're not going to cut and weed something so small. It wouldn't be possible. This is done by a laser, and we do that for you, ready for you to apply. The beautiful thing about using effects is it gives more character to your numbers, and it makes them more breathable. And you have more movement in those numbers as well. Okay, so we're going to the press. We used charcoal in Premium Plus for build strength. And then this is just gray. Yeah. So we are going to have 2 different grays on our shirt, but that's okay. Not decorating an actual jersey. We are just going to decorate a t-shirt. But then we're going to turn around and we're going to add another layer to Premium Plus. It's a material that can be layered on top of. It can also be layered on other type of materials that are approved for layering. So Premium Plus could go on top of, trying to get this guy started. Premium Plus could go on top of Ultra Weed. It could go on top of soft foam. It could go on top of Gorilla Grip, which is a nylon material. So yeah, you can stack this puppy as high as you want, or you can leave it as simple as you want. Now, we are playing with silicone. And it's stretchy. So this would be option number 2 in terms of stretch. It's just much thicker. It is a silicone. So if you think of an Under Armour, Adidas, OGO, little tags that go right here. This is where silicone falls into line. You can't layer silicone on top of silicone. So if you are wanting a matte like finish, then that is where you could go Premium Plus and then silicone on top. And with it being a little bit thicker, we're going to have a little bit of dimension. Okay, so this is the weeding box that we were discussing at the very beginning. If you select Auto Weed in CADWorks Live, then it will automatically place a box around your entire design. So if we were to have, 50 different logos we were cutting out, then you would have that box around the 50. Now this material also kind of, stretches and snaps, but this is not a hot peel material. So we can't turn around and go over to the press and make this just a little bit easier to weed. This is something that we do have to get through together on this. And I think every live that I weed in this spot, I always say that I need a little lamp. So maybe one of these days, we're working on a project together, you'll actually see a little lamp there. I have terrible eyes, and I swear I need more light. Okay, so close. I am not doing the best job at weeding this. There is definitely ways that we could make this more efficient. So bear with how horrendous this is. So close. We're working on the cavities of the bee. I also probably could have cut just a little bit more deeper. All right, so this is just going to help create a drop shadow effect with our Premium Plus. 300 degrees is what it applies at. We are currently at 288, so I'll adjust that as we're applying. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the comments now, since we know it takes about 2 minutes for those to kind of come through. And I'm going to send you guys over to the press with me. There we go. All right, 16 by 20 auto clam. I do have the 11 by 15 platen in there right now. And what we're going to do is just take our garment and thread it. Work all of my seams off as best as possible. Pre-press, and let's go ahead and bump up our temp. Excuse me, silicone is 290 to 302 for 10 to 15 seconds. So we're actually just going to keep it where it's at. Now, both materials are at a medium pressure. So we're going to adjust this just a little bit. All right, this is our Premium Plus logo up first. Find the center. And I'm going to go about 4 down. Now, here's the kicker. I'm going to shift just a smidge because the material that we're going to use next is going to push our logo a little bit further this way. So that's why I just shifted the logo just a hair to the left. Now, while that is going, it is low tack. So this is low tack that we're using. So it does need to be warm to cool. Now, I said that Premium Plus is 8 to 12 seconds, and we only applied at 6 to go ahead and tack our first layer down. It honestly probably could have just stayed with 4 seconds, just so we made sure that we didn't have any adjusting in our logo. So I'm gonna, it's still pretty warm, but we're peeling just fine. Now, because it does have the ability to stretch, I like to hold our garment as we're peeling the carrier way. You don't want to stretch this, you don't want to do the Stretch Armstrong stretch right after you're done heat applying. Let the garments cool and set before you do any type of crazy testing. So super, super smooth. Because we've got some really thin stems in our artwork, we almost can't feel it on the garment. It's going to be lightweight and it's going to be breathable. Okay, now I said let it cool before you do the stretch, but we don't have all day. So this is what it looks like without putting our next layer. It is a little bit cooler. You can see that there's no sheen in this. It's definitely a matte. And if you stretch, it's going to stretch back to the original shape. You're not going to have any puckering in the letters. It's just, that's why I love this material, is it's going to stretch and move with you, and then it's not going to distort your logo or create the little creasing to where it's then started to lift off of the garment. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the press. And we are going to add our silicone. And this is going to apply for the full time of 10 seconds. And that will also just help finish curing the rest of our Premium Plus logo. Now, because we're doing a drop shadow kind of effect, and we didn't necessarily choose drop shadow in our artwork, I am seeing that there is just, somehow I adjusted the art from when we first cut. So it's not the same size. So this is not going to turn out pretty, but you can at least get the idea. I can screenshot my CADWorks Live, but ideally this would have been shadowed over everything, and somehow my artwork shifted from when I needed to cut the second logo. Okay. You would use a cover sheet in this scenario, but my cover sheets are in a different spot of my office at the moment. So once this pops up, I'm going to take it off of the carrier, come back in front of you guys, and we'll let it cool down. All right, so like I said, this is for sure a cold peel. And as you can see, we didn't get the shadow effect that we were supposed to. But if this would have been correctly cut, then our build would have been stacked a little bit better. And then we would have had a shadowing effect with our Premium Plus. And the build strength in black would have been definitely more of a wow factor, just because of that shadow we could have created. So Premium Plus, super, super easy to start adding in to your, your materials. Don't be afraid to test out a yard. Carly had mentioned earlier at the beginning that you can actually go in and request a sample. So if you're like, I don't know what in the world she's talking about, what is this Premium Plus? Go order a sample, test it out, and you'll know hands down after applying why we just absolutely love working with Premium Plus. Okay. Ooh, definitely much cooler. Now with a silicone, I would definitely not do high detail just because of the weeding. And it's just meant to be more of a little bit of special effect. Okay, so we got matte on matte here, right? We can see that it's a really, really soft matte with both colors. The next thing is when you feel it, you're definitely going to have that rubber silicone feel. But because both materials work with a stretch and rebound, you could use them together and you're not taking away that stretch characteristic from the Premium Plus. Now, it's not going to be as intense on a stretch as Premium Plus. It's thicker, definitely thicker, and you do have that silicone grab to it. Boom. Love it. Even though the words aren't stacked correctly. Drives me crazy. All right. Okay, guys, we are done. That's it. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll hang out for just a couple of minutes and we'll go from there. I know there is GPX coming up in Texas either this week or next week. Then we go to Impressions at Atlantic City. So excited for that one. And then I will be in DAC Chicago in April. And I know we've got shows. It's just crazy Showtime world right now. So I know this is just an Alani energy drink. Before anybody asks. Gustavo said, CADWorks and Premium Plus, perfect match. It really is. Just super easy, right? I definitely rotate back between Ultra Weed and Premium Plus, depending on the job, depending on the artwork, the quantity. I really like Ultra Weed. I am a fan of Ultra Weed, but they just both have different characteristics. So if I know there's a certain shirt that I want that really, really buttery soft feel, then Premium Plus is the winner. Oh, are they both Glitter Flake? I do find that some flakes seem to be a little bit thicker than other materials. So like silver, I feel like is a little bit thinner. I'm looking at like a Kelly green. It's a really, really bright green. It's on my grid wall. And I do feel like that one is a little bit thicker. Samantha, definitely let me know which product and how would you know is inside of the roll. It would say Cad-Cut glitter flake. So there's a white sticker in there. Now, even if it's on a 1 yard, you should still have the sticker of the material, the color, and the yardage on what you ordered. You would also know what you ordered in your order history. The only thing I could think of is if you were to do something like reflective glitter and then glitter flake. Those have two completely different feels and textures to them. One, reflective glitter kind of feels like a gel base or a gel top, and then reflective glitter sounds like sandpaper. That sounds like the worst thing, but that's how you're going to get that crazy glitter effect. It was a sample box. Did you do the marketing kit? Because that's, I don't think. Carly, would you know what she's talking about? Mystery. Ah, I'm failing you, Samantha. I should know about this mystery box. Aloha. Is it Michaela? Michaela? Ma. Aw, thanks, Angela. You're very welcome. Okay, is Ultra Weed good for small detailed designs? Yes. It is. It just depends on how, how small and tiny you want to actually weed, but it's still a great material to use. So is Premium Plus. It's just you're going to have that stretch effect. So I would for sure kind of just test some things out. Like don't be afraid to get frustrated and kind of adapt with what you're trying to figure out what you prefer the best. Small detailed designs, depending on quantity, there might actually be a different product that would better suit you. But that's a whole list of questions for another day. And maybe we should do a live of like job scenarios. So if you've got a 50-piece job with this type of logo, how should you order it? That'd be a good live. I think it would. You guys might be like, what? Gustavo, I can't believe you have to go that high with pressure. Are you using a Hottronics press? And Terry, I know I loved Minnesota last year. That was a good one. Oh, okay. So Samantha, I guess that came from let me see. And I honestly don't know if they're branded or not. This is what I would recommend. I would call customer service and see if you can, or send us a picture. Actually, DM us a picture if you can. I think that would be best on both materials. Because I feel like there was something else I was going to show you or go over, but it just ran away. I'm scrolling through her comments, so that's not, this one's silent. I've been using. Okay. So fashion film is what I'm thinking is the standard colors have been discontinued, and then that's when Ultra Weed came into play. It's a much lower application, 260 to 300 versus 320. Super quick. Excuse me, application time, hot peel, and I do find that fashion film fashion film felt a little bit thicker, but it might have been because of the sheen. Ultra Weed is super thin. Both high tack, so you're not going to get away from, that aspect of it, but I would just try it. I have found that I like warming Ultra Weed, but I do not like it hot to weed. So like when we were using the press to kind of help with that adhesive, I've definitely found what works and what doesn't for myself. Gustavo, if you have gone over and over with your pressure, then I won't keep poking at it, but I feel like this is a challenge. I need to figure out why you have to go instead of medium. Ooh! Done deal. I'll hold you to it. Okay, guys, that is it for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in and kind of going on this Premium Plus challenge or Premium Plus adventure with me. I wouldn't call it a challenge, right? If you have any questions, you guys know you can always reach out. Please feel free to call customer service if you have any questions as well, or just trying to figure out which product is going to be the best. Just remember that not all projects, logos, and orders are created equal. So what one material might work excellent for one job might not be the material of choice for the second. But yeah. Okay. So tune in a couple of weeks. That will be the 17th. And I believe that is Jenna. I believe we aren't joint until the end of the month, the 31st. Hop in that Stalls Heat Press for Profit group if you are not in there. There is a ton of questions about jobs, orders, what to use when, and the community in that page is very open to giving feedback, and it's kind of a community versus competition type of mindset, and that's so important in today's world. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Kelly Walters, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.